right, guys, this is Gwen with me as Thunder Toss. We're jumping into this game. Sorry for the delay. Of course, we are running 3 streams here at the Gigabyte Esports LAN. One of them is League of Legends. They were sitting at a casting desk.
Yeah, long games, slowing down everything.
Yeah, slowing down everything. But we are in with x6Sleep versus MVP Dream, man. This is going to be the match to watch of the day, I think. That's going to be one of my favorite. Maybe Hwansing Ryung is going to be better. But this is going to be up there. This is going to be up there. All right, so the players are ready. We're going to go ahead and get the game started. But Thunder Toss, oh man, what do you think about this matchup going in?
This should be really exciting. This is kind of give us a nice little look at what the bracket actually is going to be like once these players make it out of group. Right now, Dream doing really well in his bracket.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to have to see if Sleep can actually improve his spot here in the round robin stages.
So down here in the bottom right hand corner of the map, we do have MVP Dream and the Zerg player from Team Check6, the red Zerg. Here in the top right hand corner, it is Sleep. So Sleep up here, chilling out. He's like, well, I'm going to make drones until I have about 15 of them, and then I'm going to make a hatchery. Probably standard play out of him. And Dream, we'll have to see what he does. I mean, there's a lot of openings that Terran can do. On this map, I think One Racks Expand is probably going to be the name of the game. Just simply because it's pretty easy to get that third base, and a lot of Terrans want to kickstart that economy by going up, getting that base count up quickly. There's actually a Command Center first build that you can do on this map as well. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I actually like Command Center first these days. We'll see if Dream goes for it. Now, it is going to be vertical positions here, so if he does scout that out, there's actually some more aggressive builds that he can do into the mid-game using this little channel on the east side and trying to push towards his opponent's natural. It's really, really powerful because it's not in vision of the Xel'Naga tower. Yep,
it is. You can just barely sneak around the edge there and, you know, kind of sneak past. So even if Sleep is holding that Xel'Naga, like you mentioned, he will see it. But Sleep scouting cross-map positions first. That's probably the positions that he wants to be in this sort of situation. He wants to be as far away from his opponent as possible. But he is not going to find MVP Dream there. He goes, oh no. Can't be close by ground, but it is going to be those vertical positions. So the hatch still going down for Sleep. Do you think that seeing that his opponent is in these positions might make him throw down that pool a little bit sooner? Gusto again on 16, which is still a little bit greedy.
Yeah, I don't think it's really going to impact the pool timing here, but we'll see how safe he plays into the mid-game. I'm sure he's going to maybe morph his bandlings a little bit earlier, just in case. Maybe think a little bit more about where he's taking his fourth and maybe his fifth, and what kind of style that is, because you do have a little bit less room to work with here. The counterattacks are a little bit more dicey, but we'll see what he goes for. I think right now both of these players just playing relatively standard. We see the double gas coming up from Terran. And we'll see if he continues that all the way to Banshees or just sticks with his Hellion opening here.
This is kind of interesting from Dream. He actually cut his first Marine to get that CC and those gas just a little bit sooner. And, you know, it was funny because Sleep actually pulled back his drone that was on the way because he was like, wait a minute, there's going to be a Marine out that'll kill my drone. Didn't want to lose the drone, so he actually pulled it back. But you know, he could have got it in there because Dream kind of like metagaming the metagame, right, and just cutting the Marine, and in order to get those gases down sooner. So the Hellions, they're just going to be out a little bit sooner. That factory is getting down a few seconds faster. The CC finishing up a few seconds faster. So it's those little tiny subtle changes that players make to their builds that over time, and when we get to the 10-minute mark, if he's made, you know, 10 small readjustments that get everything 2 seconds faster, that's a big change by the time we get those Hellions out and across the map.
Yep, right now we do have Ling speed started by Sleep. Currently with just 2 Lings out. We're going to have to see how much he can do in terms of taking down those rocks. We do see that 1 Ling is already working them down. Really nice to have those rocks down when you want to take your third. Otherwise, the Marine pressure just means that you have to really go around to kind of defend yourself. And you don't have that high ground advantage, which is oh so important in the beginning because you are going to be defending with melee units versus those ranged Marines. And right now we do have Dream just starting to mine from his natural. He's got that bunker in a great spot, able to repair it very quickly from his mineral line. And limiting the surface area here. And we do see that Reactor Hellion follow up Now the question is, are we going to see... Oh, it's going to be a secondary factory here.
This might actually be a mech play out of Dream, which I would love to see. Mech is actually the style of Terran play that I think is so underutilized, can do so much damage if you play it off right. So I'm really excited to see if Dream's going to go for that Thunder Toss. But, I mean, taking a look at these Hellions, first one's coming out across the map. They're going to deny a little bit of creep. We'll check back on these 2 Zerglings and the Queen, killing those rocks in about a year and a half when they finish up, as the Hellions do make their way across. And they're here just to deny that creep, and they're actually going to get a denial on the tumor immediately. A second one gets canceled. Beautiful cancel there by Sleep.
Yep, and we're going to have to see how much Dream commits to this mech play. Right now, he still only has those 2 factories, still just pumping out double reactor Hellion. So it hasn't actually gotten that 3rd factory, which we normally see it with mech. But again, those vertical positions with that narrow channel along the right side, so easy to actually push towards your opponent's base with those Hellions. They can just pretty much roast everything that's in their path. And if he's pushing that with Thors and maybe even a couple of tanks added in, he can actually siege up right outside of that natural, which is such a strong position.
Oh, the Hellions are actually doing a run by. They're going to make it into the natural mineral line. A bunch of links popping out at the right point, but they are not rallied, and Sleep pulls all of his drones back to the main. One of these Queens will fall as well, going down in a fiery mess. And now the Hellions trying to just continue to be annoying and potentially make their way into the main. I would think at this point you want to do things like target down those larvae so that they cannot make units. But more Zerglings chasing the Hellions back off the creep. Good surround, but Hellions from the low ground as well. This is a beautiful play out of Dream, continuing to do so much damage.
Yeah, although despite that, I think almost all of it has been in terms of links. He's only actually killed 1 worker.
Wow.
And for such a large Hellion run by, getting only 1 worker is actually pretty bad for him.
That's true.
We
It's a
see
good
him down
point.
about 6 supply, and looking at the harvester count, it's 44 to 37. And now we see those drones returning to the natural, and he feels perfectly safe. So all that damage was essentially mitigated by those links popping out at just the right time, and now it looks like he's going to chase down a couple of those reinforcements here.
Yeah, he will attempt to do so. Hellions returning, though, and some good Hellion control out of MVP Dream will ensure that his Hellions do stay alive. But Sleep's got quite a few lings there, so he's going to be able to get us around, especially if the engagement is on creep. But Hellions continue to come out 2 to 3 at a time. Spinecaller moving over to that 3rd base. A couple of drones mining there. Lings setting up a nice concave in case the Hellions decide to go for a run by into the natural once again. And kind of a biomech style coming out of Dream. He's got a 2nd barracks down, now throwing down additional barracks. Starport finally on the way, as well as that 3rd command center morphing into the orbital.
Right, so this is what I was saying. We actually see that double engineering bay as well, working on 1-1. So he's not a full commitment to mech. He's actually adding on those barracks, like you mentioned. So that's a very, very interesting style. And we did see on the other side, Sleep actually throwing down that Wotorn, getting the Baneling Nest, perhaps expecting a mech play, certainly recognizing that there was far more Hellions than a normal reactor Hellion. But here we go, Hellions into the 3rd base. Ling's getting a nice surround. The Spinecrawler still doing some work here. There are not that many drones here, but 4 of them have gone down so far, so next are 3 drone kills by those Hellions. But again, not being as effective as you would expect from such a large Hellion run by.
Yeah, I mean, if you combine the total losses from both the Hellion run-bys versus, I mean, he's only killed 7 workers so far, so not, like you said, not the most effective trades there. And that one Hellion, man, he's hiding out in the corner of the base. He's like, those roaches, they can't see me.
The Queen even spreading creep right next to the Hellion. He's got 5 health
That's
left.
That's actually really hilarious. That Hellion pilot, man, he is so nervous. Like, you can look at him in the portrait. He's like shaking. He's like smoking at the same time. Oh, man. Looking around. Oh, the Queen sees him finally. He's dead.
Yep, so Sleep actually sent a Ling over to the 3rd. Did get roasted by Hellions, but I think he expects that that 3rd command center has gone down. Also spotting that Rox is taking a little bit of damage, as right now the Hellions and the Marines are working to take them down. Medivacs are out now, and then Overseer actually doing a nice job scouting here, dropping a changeling at the very edge of that base. So even though it's going to go down here, he's going to get continued information. Does see the fact that it is actually a bio follow-up, and that is huge. And good thing he's already working on those central fugal hooks for those Banelings, and just now deciding to drop a Spire, as well as take that 4th base over here at the 12 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, this is some really aggressive expanding out of Sleep, and I think the one big thing that we haven't talked about, Thunder Toss, that all of that Hellion action in the early game denied for Sleep is creep spread. We're at the 12-minute mark. I mean, 12-minute and 30-second mark, and look at how abysmal this creep spread is, especially for a player like Sleep, who, I mean, if gone unharassed, if you didn't go 2 FAC Reactor Hellions, the creep would already be at your front door.
Yeah, but right now we do actually see a very, very strong Marine Hellion attack. And it looks like Sleep is ready for this massive
totally
surround.
Ready.
And the Baneling's able to crush through all of that. A single, all of these two tanks unsieged here, immediately going down. Sleep taking a very, very nice supply lead here.
Wow.
Medevac does save 4 of these Hellions, but huge victory there for Sleep, pumping those units out at exactly the right time. And that was a very strategic move out by Dream. I mean, he knew what he was doing. The Spire is just now finished, and a lot of times the Zerg players will be stockpiling money so that they can make, 9, 10, 13 mutas at a time, and that's when they're relatively weak. Right now, Sleep recognizing that he can hold that with just Lings and Banelings, adding on that Infestation Pit now, and going for Burrow, even going for Flyer Carapace level 1. So he's going to commit to this and morphing 9 Banelings at home just so they can start stockpiling that money without being worried.
Yeah, we do have a Marine drop loaded up on the side of the map. That's going to try and fly in, I believe, to the natural, but whoa for that drop, man. There is a Spore Spine combo waiting for it there. And, Sleep is, he's ready for this, man. Look at this. That sees it. Of course, the Marines are just going to drop on the high ground because Marines are super annoying like that, but that does give Sleep the time he needs to get some of those units over there. And take care of it. But beautiful positioning on some of those Marines. Only like 1 or 2 Zerglings can get in. The Medevac does fall though, and that's kind of a big loss. You can't really afford to be losing Medevacs like that in this sort of composition. But another drop loaded up in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, making its way around the long way.
And I want to point out that actually Dream scanned right on top of where he was dropping, kind of confused at what Sleep was doing, wanted to see a little bit more. So he did actually spot the Corruptors coming out, which popped as soon as that kind of all those Marines were taken out. So that's some critical information there as we do see the Hive over halfway done right now. And we do have that Carapace level 1 kind of timed out well with that. And this drop actually over on the left is actually going to spot this 5th base coming up. Just now started for Sleep, who really wants to have access to those extra gases. Yeah, I mean, he definitely wants to be on more than 8 gas. I mean, he's going to be on 8 gas with this 4th base, but look at this army from Dream. This is actually a huge army, and I mean, Sleep is at a supply advantage, but it's part of it is because he has 26 Lings about to hatch. And if we take a look just at the, the worker count versus the army supply, Sleep up with 84 supply tied up in that workers. So army size is bigger for Dream, and again, some of that is because Sleep has morphing units, but this engagement is going to have to be good. But here comes Sleep. The tank's unsieged right now, Thunder Toss. It couldn't get much better than this, but Dream, fantastic micro, pulling back his Marines. What wonderful stutter step, wonderful splitting, but there's just too much here for him to deal with. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful engagement by Sleep, even attacking before the Infestors were out, which has had so much stuff here. The Corruptor's able to take down a lot of those Medevacs and jumping up to about a 50 supply lead here as he was catching those tanks unsieged yet again. Right now, Dream trying to do a little bit of counter harassment and keep Sleep from pushing forward, trying to harass this 4th base here as he's taking his own at the 6 o'clock, but right now, Sleep expanding over here to the, 1030 base, as he's just going to hold this off, and I think he's just waiting for these 6 Infestors to pop. And once that happens, I think he's just going to be able to gear up for a really massive attack right now.
Oh, Sleep not really watching, though, where some of those Zerglings went. Lost a Corruptor to those Marines. He will clean up that drop, though. And, I mean, basically every single drop. And, a counterattack at the 6 o'clock. He's just target firing the Planetary. There are Banelings here as well. He ends up deciding to pull back. And the scan goes down, does reveal that there are Banelings. Man, look at Dream's Marine splitting there. That's just so impressive to watch.
Yeah, and that reaction time on that Planetary, that many Lings with those upgrades, right now they're actually 2-2. Can actually easily take down a Planetary, but Dream's so quick on that repair micro, able to block out the Lings.
In the natural of Sleep as well. 16 Marines, but there are Infestors here, Thunder Toss. This is not going to go well. Beautiful Fungal goes down, trapping the Medevacs as well as the Marines. A follow-up Fungal to finish it off. But the Queen was sniped there, so that will hurt Sleep's production a little bit. But if we take a look at the unit counting station, man, he's got 30 larvae available. He is not hurting for that.
Yeah, we even see Ultras coming out at the moment, and that drop in the natural actually didn't even get far enough to see that the Greater Spire is about to be finished. It's about 75% of the way done, And he's just going to be able to transition between techs so easily. And at 19 minutes, this is such a rare position for Zerg to be in, to feel comfortable enough to actually dual tech at the same time here. And now we see drones transferring over to those top left bases. Wants to be able to, again, get those gases up so that he can actually just pump out whatever units he wants right now. And he's, again, 40 or 50 supply ahead at the moment, looking to get aggressive with those infestors and the banelings now.
This is actually, you know, kind of a beautiful